Children of the night, what music they make. Whenever people are asked to do an impression of a vampire, there's a reason that they sound like this. Bela Lugosi, Bela Lugosi, Bela Lugosi. If you were to carve a Mount Rushmore of the single greatest performances of all time in movies, you would have to include Lugosi's portrayal of Transylvania's most famous citizen front and center.
I am Dracula.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Dance off, bro! Me and you!
Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of Draculathon, and today we're taking a look at the 1931 Universal Picture versions of Dracula. And yes, that is versions, plural with an S, because Universal actually produced two Dracula movies in 1931, an English version which was filmed in the daytime, and a Spanish version which was filmed at night using the same sets but a different cast. They actually did this a lot in the early 1930s as talkie movies were still pretty new and nobody had invented dubbing yet. So, the English first. Like I said, it is impossible to escape the fact that Bela Lugosi as Dracula is, I would argue, the single most iconic movie performance of all time. No other one piece of acting has ever influenced all further portrayals of pop culture imaginings of an entire noun. Not just the character Dracula, but all vampires. If you get any generic vampire costume for Halloween, it's pretty much impossible not to slip into his accent at least once. So whenever Lugosi says,
I am Dracula.
in essence, he's not just referring to the Dracula in this movie, but the very idea of Dracula himself. In a way, it's kind of profound. But not to let Lugosi's performance overshadow the entire cast, Dwight Frye gives a scary good performance as well. And as amazing as Lugosi is, I would argue that Frye might even surpass him as far as acting talent goes. Now that's a big claim to make, but here's my argument. Frye's character is much more dynamic, and often alternates quickly between even higher extremes than Lugosi ever does. Renfield starts off completely normal and sane, but then goes insane after visiting the Count at his castle. Frye does an amazing job at portraying both the sane and insane sides of Renfield. I mean, doesn't this laugh just make your skin crawl? Now, being such an early talkie film, Dracula encounters several hiccups when it comes to how the film was arranged. Mainly that there's no score outside of a snippet of Swan Lake during the opening credits. The rest of the film is scoreless. This makes Dracula almost feel like a silent movie sometimes, and the emptiness of sound, I would say, kinda helps give the movie an extra feeling of creepiness, and I don't know if this is the right word, authentication. Because much like Nosferatu 1922, this aged element helps the movie feel more vintage and therefore possibly more real in a sense. There are of course some things that I don't like about this version of Dracula though. Firstly is the character Martin, the sanatorium attendant. He is what I like to call an Olaf character. An Olaf character is a character that serves no necessary function to the plot, or at most a very minor one, and their only reason for getting screen time at all is for the filmmakers to go, hey look, goofy character does or says goofy thing. Isn't this fun? No, it's not fun. I actually find this to be rather annoying and distracting. And your attempt at comic relief is just ruining the tone, so yeah. The second major complaint that I have is with the script. Now, I'm not talking about any lines that the characters say, far from it. This movie has so many iconic lines.
I bid you welcome. I never drink. Why? Listen to them. children of the night. What music they make. There are far worse things, waiting man, than death.
Yeah, no, the dialogue is good. I'm talking about how large portions of the plot just seem to be missing or cut short. This is where the Spanish version comes in. Now, many critics have lauded the Spanish version as being superior to the English version, and while I still maintain that for English speakers, the English version is more important, especially given how iconic Bela Lugosi is, the Spanish version does fix some of the narrative issues that the English version has. The English version is actually almost half an hour shorter, as more of its dialogue was cut to make the film more streamlined, but in doing so misses out on some pretty important conflict resolutions. For example, the Lady in White plotline is only ever brought up a few times in the English version, but it's never resolved. In the Spanish version, we see Van Helsing and Harker returning from the graveyard after having dispatched the so-called Lady in White off-screen. It's a shame that they left this one simple, quick scene out of the English version because it not only helps resolve the loose end of the Lady in White, but it also is a character development scene for Harker, as this experience is what gets him to drop his superstitions and start to trust Van Helsing fully. Also, come on, this shot is gorgeous. So, the original Universal Dracula movies both have their strengths and weaknesses. While the Spanish version is stronger narratively, I believe that the English version has a much stronger acting and more iconic performances. That's not to take away from the Spanish actors. They're good also. That's just my native language bias. And of course, when it comes to our pop culture understanding of vampires, we still live in Bela Lugosi's shadow today. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out if you haven't done so already. And until next time, good night, my children.